I want to thank you guys for coming out. One of the things I believe in very strongly is proactive government, and I think one of the biggest issues facing East Norwalk is going to be the work on East Avenue, and I think it's going to have present challenges and opportunities. The challenges, of course, are going to minimize the impact on our businesses and the surrounding neighborhoods. And I'd like to discuss that a little bit. Obviously, there's going to be some discomfort to the businesses and the neighborhoods during the construction. And so what I'm calling for, if I get elected, is a Citizens Advisory Committee that we're going to discuss the project before it begins, while it's going on, and as it's concluding, to deal with any of the neighborhood concerns and business concerns. Being proactive, I think we could minimize the impact on our neighborhoods. I think we can impact on our businesses. When I was the economic director down in Florida, we had many projects going on, and what we did was we made sure that we coordinated with business operating hours so that the worst inconvenience came in before businesses opened and after businesses closed. We also utilized our police department to direct traffic so that the congestion was kept flowing and with as little interruption. We also ensured that during construction that traffic didn't flow into our neighborhoods, creating congestion in our neighborhoods. It can be done as long as we're proactive. And so I would work with the mayor to establish this Citizens Advisory Committee. Mayor Reeling has been very open to the suggestion that we minimize the impact on our businesses and our neighborhoods. The challenges I've outlined. The solution, I think, is in coordination and communication. The opportunities I speak about is that I think East Avenue is kind of like the downtown of East Norwalk. And I think the opportunities we face, we can take advantage of is for instance, we can, while the construction's going on, looking in putting in decorative lighting like they have in Sono. Maybe instead of pole lighting, though, overhang lighting. I also think we could look at putting pavers in the crosswalk to make it more eye appealing. I also think we can look at doing some plantings and planters along the road to make the East Avenue more eye appealing. We may want to consider looking to do a tax increment financing zone for this area, where when taxes increase, the money's returned back into creating and encouraging redevelopment and development in this area. One of the things that it was very advantageous when we had this down in South Florida is that you can get a lot of federal grants to do a lot of the work, whether it be work with the Environmental Protection Agency, if, God forbid, we do discover some types of hazardous waste due to previous industries that were in the area. Also beautification projects, transit-friendly development in that you want to encourage the sidewalks to become more pedestrian-friendly. And by doing that, again, with planters, with the decorative pavers, it takes advantage of what's going to be a major construction project here. So we're going to have challenges, which I think we can address and minimize impact, and we have opportunity where, because it's going to be being torn up and redeveloped, we can come forward with an idea and a plan on how to make it eye-appealing, more business-friendly, more pedestrian-friendly, and get the traffic flowing freely. I have to tell you, first time I came to Norwalk, and it wasn't 3 years ago when I moved here, and I took East Avenue, I did kind of feel like a mouse in a maze. You go down the street, you go to the right, you go to the left, you go to the right, you go underneath the train, and then you're going to the right again. So traffic flow is going to be very important, and I think that those three components, preserving our neighborhoods, limiting the impact on our businesses, and taking advantage of the opportunities the reconstruction project is going to present to the city and the citizens of Norwalk. Any questions?
How would this committee interface with approval bodies, or what power would it have?
They wouldn't have power, so to speak, but it would be a conduit between the business owner. So you're a business owner, okay, and you're having an issue with the way the construction's going on or the impact it's having on your business. you could go to one of the members of the committee and present it directly, and they could take it to the councilman or directly to the department overseeing. We'd also give weekly or bi-monthly updates to the Citizens Advisory Committee on what to expect down the road, so there's no surprises. It wouldn't have a power, obviously, because it's not a legitimate board or a commission of the town, but it would serve as a conduit, as a resource to the city and to the businesses.
And this would be a conduit then while construction is occurring, not beforehand.
Oh no, it would be beforehand so that people know what's going on, and you can express your concerns to the committee and to the elected officials as to what your concerns are. It really doesn't do any good if once the construction starts and you had a concern that wasn't heard, because if you can get an issue addressed prior to a project beginning, a lot of times it's a lot easier to solve the problem than once the construction begins.
Have you seen the plans to put that in widening?
I've reviewed them briefly. They're extensive.
Do you have any criticisms of them?
Not yet. Like I said, I don't want to start criticizing. One of the things I've learned in my 15 plus years in politics is save criticisms to when it's really necessary. Let the discussions proceed, let the plans proceed, and let the public comments starting to come in. And like I said, one of the things is that we're going to address, hopefully early on, is any issues that we may see.
Have you spoken with any of the business owners?
I've spoken to a couple of the business owners, the package store around the corner, Penny's Diner, and like I said, that's where the, and also, obviously, the Gavrilides family. That's one of the reasons why I thought this advisory committee would be good, so that, like I said, we can address the issues before, while, and after. Because one of the things, too, is once the project's over, there are what we call punch card issues, issues that haven't been addressed. Maybe a curb isn't low enough. Maybe the storm sewer grate isn't to the grade of the road. So you want to be able to address those minor things and not allowing the owners of the businesses, the owners of the property, and the neighborhoods to get very frustrated.